I think most people are not natively
Mm.
tinkerers. And so part of the job that we have to do as product builders is when we see the really cool use cases, surface them in a better way, right? Some people will, I mean, let's go back to ChatGPT. I mean, you could use ChatGPT as a search engine. That can be your main use case. And a lot of people, that's all they do. But as you know, like that's very surface level, right? That's like barely scratching the surface of what you can do. And so as product builders, we have to figure out what are the super high value use cases and just make it easy for people to discover those things and to learn those things. And I think that is a bottleneck. In general, I would say for AI adoption across companies, the biggest bottleneck is that most of these things require you to, you can get basic value out of it, but for you to get a lot of value, it requires you to change the way that you work, right? So going back to my example of the recruiter that email where they explain to the customer how something works, that requires A, creativity, and B, a way to change your workflow. And so the hard part about that is that it requires you to think differently about the way that you work and come up with these new workflows. And I think like the reason that it is hard to come up with these new workflows is because you have deadlines and you've got stuff to do, right? So I got to submit this thing by Friday. I know that if I did it the old way, I'd be able to do it. I can, complete it and it'll be done. Or I can, experiment and try and use AI to get this done. But the problem is the first time I use AI to do this work, it's going to be, it's probably going to annoy me because it's not going to be great. I'm probably going to spend more time on it and it's not going to be as good as if I did it without using AI, right? Because I've been doing it the other way forever and ever. And so part of it is that like people and organizations specifically have to make it possible for their teams to experiment without deadlines, like actually create the space to tinker and build in order to kind of like come up with these new workflows. And it will take longer. You will be frustrated. It will require patience. But once you figure out the new workflows and you get really good at it, then you'll never want to go back because it'll be that much better.
I made this podcast because I want to be the person at the city gate to talk to every person coming in and out doing great things with AI and find out what and why, and then share the learnings with everyone else. It would mean a lot if you could share the episode with someone that you think would like it. And if you know someone who would be a great person for me to talk to, let me know. Please reach out to me at Daniel Maneri on LinkedIn or shoot an email to daniel@maneri.house, which is Daniel@MANARY.HAUS. Thanks for listening.